This season I've set myself a challenge to make fantasy football great again.
What are the rules? Oh Christ, I'm singing again.
So here are the rules for my challenge. First up, I can't own any players who are 20% or higher owned. So all those template players, all the players that everyone loves who bring out the delicious points, can't have any of them in my team. Second, I can't captain the same player in consecutive game weeks. So I have the captain in game week 1, I can't captain that same player in game week 2, so I can't just set and leave. I have to change the captains every week. But I can obviously have them again as captain in game week 3. I can't take 4 or 8 point hits or any point hits for transfers. I only have to use the free transfers that I'm given, so tough luck. I can only have one designated penalty taker in my squad at any time, so I can't just fill my team up with penalty takers. I can only have one real world penalty taker in my squad at any given time. And I can't own 2 players from the same club in the same position, so I can't do any of those double up in positions like Arsenal defending double ups. So onto my team this week. Alisson in goals. Bournemouth haven't really had the best pre-season for scoring goals, and their team's had a bit of a disruption over the transfer window. I think Liverpool will have a strong first game in Anfield, so Alisson is in goals. First up with defence now is Reece James. We've had a bit of a nightmare since recording yesterday. I've had to change it as Pedro Porro was my first defender, but he's crept over the 20% mark now, so I've had to remove him now, and Reece James is in the defence. Crystal Palace is okay as a first game. Next up we got Murillo and Tarkowski in defence. They both have really good games. Murillo against Brentford at home, and Brentford seem to be in quite a lot of turmoil at the moment with some of their better players leaving and their attacking threat leaving and their manager leaving for another team, so they're quite disrupted at the moment, and I think Brentford might have a pretty tough season ahead. Nottingham Forest are quite good at defensive anyway, and Murillo and Tarkowski, as you can see here, were good for defensive contributions last season, and they would have had much more points if it was in play last season with the new rules. So they're both in my team at the moment. Tarkowski has Leeds away. It might be a bit of a tough game with Leeds wanting to prove something back in the Premier League, but he was top for the defenders last year for contributions, so should have a good season, and hopefully they have a good start this season. Next up in midfield is Starboy Saka. On penalties, he's my designated penalty taker at the start. He's under the 20% owned, so that's good. He's also on corners and one of their main attacking threats. They don't have the very good start with the fixtures, but Arsenal and Saka are pretty much fixture proof, so hopefully they have good games and Saka can kick on from the very start. Gakpo up next then. Wasn't able to have Wirtz or Salah in my team because of the high ownership, so Gakpo seems the next best option. Luis Diaz is no longer there, so Gakpo seems like the main player on the left-hand side now. He's a solid player anyway and has scored a couple of goals over the pre-season, so is always good for a goal, and hopefully he'll do well at the start of the season. Again, Bournemouth at home is a good fixture. Jack Grealish, absolute amazing transfer to Everton. I think he got lost in the system at Man City, wasn't able to express his true self like he did at Aston Villa beforehand. I think if he can find that creative spark again and he stays fit, I think he could be a dark horse this season, and I think he can do very, very well at Everton. It was a great transfer. Bryan Mbeumo. I did originally have Bruno Fernandes in the team, and he was going to be my designated penalty taker, but he was creeping up, and he just passed 20%, so I had to take him out my team late on, and then I replaced him with Saka as my penalty taker, and then I brought in Mbeumo instead for United in the midfield. I think he may be taking a couple of corners now and again, and he is a really good attacking threat. He was obviously very solid for Brentford last season, and I think overall he will do well in the United team as long as they do well this season. Rounding off the midfielders starting then, Pedro Neto. He's on corners some of the times. It was out of Enzo Fernandez or Pedro Neto for me, but Pedro Neto got the nod because I think he is more of an attacking threat, and I think he'll be one of the main starters on the wing this season for Chelsea. Up front then I got Fulkrug, who has had a pretty good pre-season. He was injured quite a lot last season, so didn't kick on, but he's had a good pre-season, scored a few goals, and I think as long as he stays fit, he should be a good attacker and get some goals for West Ham. Alongside him is Ekitike, who is also going to be captain for the week. He had a good Community Shield game, and I think with Bournemouth, their defence has been ripped apart a bit in the transfer market, and I think they'll have a strong game at Anfield against Bournemouth, and I think Ekitike should hopefully get on the score sheet again. For the subs then, for my first substitution is Jordan Pickford. Pretty good fixtures starting off with the fixture list, and he's a pretty solid goalie with good shot stopping, and he usually picks up good points along the way. First outfield sub is Benjamin Sesko. Hopefully he has a good start to life at United. Not the best first fixture, so that's why he's on the subs bench, but hopefully should have a good season if he brings what he can do to the team. Next up is Dorgu. Kind of a panic transfer in after Porro has gone over 20%. Brought in Dorgu as he's pretty attacking defender. He should be the main player on the left now for United in their system, and hopefully he can bring good things this season for United, getting up and down. And then last but not least, Daniel Munoz. He's a very good attacking threat. Hasn't got the best fixtures to start off with, but I did want him in my team because he does like to get involved in the tackles, and he is a good attacking threat going forward, so he should be quite a good player going on. With the rules and restrictions I've set myself this season, it was difficult to pick strikers that didn't take penalties for their teams, because a lot of the strikers do take penalties for their teams or they're very high owned. So I had slim pickings, but the 3 strikers I picked seemed to be pretty good picks. I think the team overall is very well balanced for defensive contributions and attacking and set pieces. I think they're good picks with good fixtures. I've wanted players with good fixtures for the first few games at least, so I can rack up some transfers, as I can't use hits for transfers. I'm not quite sure what the idea yet with my chip strategy yet. I haven't really looked into it properly, but those will come in later videos. If you do want to follow along, if you just like, subscribe or comment or just interact in some way, that would be very helpful. Ask questions, we can have a chat, transfers, players, strategies, anything you want, hit me up, and hopefully we can build a little community of us. Hope your game week 1 goes really well, and see you next week.